This is the year that my lifelong dream of becoming published has come true. This year I've been offered publication for my debut novel, Surviving Midas, by City Limits Publishing in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm doing a series of lectures describing the publishing process so that anybody else who seeks to have their work published will also know all the tips and tricks and what to expect on their journey to publication. Now this is a part of a 3-part series talking about the different types of publishing, and today we're going to be talking about traditional publishing. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe bell, the notification bell so you never miss a new video. I'm going to be posting videos hopefully once a week describing my journey from just a writer to a published author. So you want to be sure to stay tuned for that. So today we're going to start with traditional publishing, what it is, how much it might cost for the author, and why people choose that over self-publishing. Now, the most well-known type of publishing is traditional publishing, and that's what you generally hear about when somebody's talking about their advancements, or their royalties, or their agents, or working with their publisher. So this is where you actually had a big giant publishing house, and you submit your work to them, and they choose you as one of their authors and decide to publish and help you market your books. Now, like most things in life, there are multiple subcategories within a category. So with traditional publishing, I'm going to talk about 2 different types. That's going to be your big 5 houses and your smaller independent publishing houses. So your big 5 houses are Macmillan Book Group, which I can never say right, Penguin Random House, there's Simon & Schuster, there's HarperCollins, and there's Hachette or Hachette or however the heck you say it, Book Group. It's H-A-C-H-E-T-T-E. So those people that actually probably know French, be sure to comment below with kind of a pronunciation guide so you can help me figure out what in the world this book group is called. That's the thing about us readers, is we only know how things are pronounced when we actually see them on paper. You hear them in the real world, it's not the same. Alright, so let's talk first about those big 5 groups. So those are your most famous ones, the ones with a huge staff, huge budgets. So you're going to have things be a little bit different between those and some of your indie house publishing. In fact, they're so big that most of the time they're not even going to entertain a submission of a manuscript from an independent writer. So these are the groups that are going to require you to get a literary agent before they even look at your work. So what is a literary agent and how does one get one? So a literary agent is your representative in the publishing world. So not only are they sort of like working as the gatekeepers to the big 5 publishing houses, they also help negotiate your contracts. And they help you with your writing style, things that might need to be improved on, and they help you with your next book idea so that you can have an advancement of your career and keep earning money. Now, the catch to literary agents is they take 15% of any of the profits earned by the writer. Okay, so every book sold through traditional publishing, a large percentage of that is already going back to those presses. Oftentimes, with those big 5 publishing houses, it can be 90% of your book sales goes back to the publishing house. So that leaves about 10% for you per book. Now, out of that 10%, 15% of that goes to your literary agent. Now, this is not to say that it's not worth it, because a lot of times your literary agents, with the advice they give, they earn their money back in spades, but it's something to be mindful of as a new author, and as you try to determine what kind of publisher you want, whether it be self-publishing, big 5, or one of these smaller publishing houses. It's still good to be mindful of that your money's not all going to you if you have a literary agent. And this contract, it means for all book sales in the future. So this contract doesn't end. So that means, and we all hope that our books will keep selling at least for the end of our own lifetimes. So that means audiobooks, international books, it means electronic books. All of that, keep in mind that 15% is going to go to your agent. So how does someone get one of these agents? Well, first off, you need to start with making a list of agents. Don't just go through the phone book, or if people still have phone books, or down through Google and pick every agent. You need to actually know who these people are before you send it to, because not every agent represents all types of literary works. Some people specialize in children's books or young adult, some in horror, some in mystery. So you don't want to be sending your romance novel to somebody that does children's books, all right? They're going to look at you with 2 heads, or they're just going to throw it in their trash box and you'll never hear from them again. So a good place to find this information is a website called Query Tracker. There are a few others out there, but that's the one that I use personally, and I don't have any affiliates with them. I'm not earning money from them. This is just what I have done. So Query Tracker is awesome because it lets you look up all these different agents that are looking for your genre. You can click on, there's a direct link to their website. You can click on that and it'll show you what's called a manuscript wish list. So even within these groups, so you might have somebody, you've written a romance novel that is all about vampires, a paranormal romance. So somebody that works with just, walk to remember type romances might not be a good fit for your vampire romance. And you'll have even more information besides just genre on their website about what they're looking for. Now that could be personal taste, but a lot of times what they're looking for, it means that they have somebody in mind that they're ready to go ahead and send that novel to. So they got an editor in mind who likes vampire romance novels, which are so 10 years ago. But so you take that and you send that to that agent, and they're going to know immediately who they can sell it to, because that's what they really want to do. That's how they make their money, is through a sale. They do not earn a dime until they sell your book. So if you're trying to send them a book that they don't know how to sell, they're going to turn you down. All right, so you go on Query Tracker, you go onto the agent's website, you look at their genres they're interested in, their manuscript wish list, and you form a list of all these agents. And you don't want to just send all your queries out there. That's just the first 3 steps, okay? So I might make another video in the future talking about query letters and query submissions. I'm not going to talk about that right now because that could be a whole long segment. So if you like this content and you want to know more and you want to look out for some of my more videos coming up, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Alright, so you've compiled your list of literary agents, you've queried them all, you got that one agent that just really fits, they're interested in your book, they think they can sell it, and you go on what's called submission, where the literary agent is submitting the work to these editors of these publishing houses on your behalf. So it's basically what you did with querying, except for a little bit more professional level, because these people have done this a million times, they know what they're doing. If an editor likes what they see, they will make an offer of publication on your manuscript. So that's when we're talking about how much you're going to get paid for this. We're talking advances, we're talking about percentage of royalties. There's also stuff that we're going to talk about is like what rights does the publisher have? Do they have a right to market it to an international market? Do they have the right to create special editions? Do they have first dibs on the sequels? So that's the time when you're going to really need your agent to help negotiate the contract so that you get the best deal you can possibly get for your book. So that's basically how you get published with the big 5 publishing houses. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these smaller publishing houses and what to expect with them, because they do not always require you to have an agent. So that means that 15% of each sale, that stays with you, the author. Now the downside to this is that a lot of times these smaller publishing presses do not have as big of a budget as, say, the big 5. They're also not as well known, so there's going to be a little bit more effort on the part of the author to push their book and get more sales. Now the downside to some of these publishing houses is that because they don't have millions and millions of dollars to give to their authors, you should not be expecting a very high advance or an advance at all. So you might not get an advance at all, but you should also expect a higher percentage of your royalties later on. So with our big 5 publishing houses, we're talking 10% of book sales. But with these smaller houses, you should expect something like 30% or for paperbacks or 50% for electronic copies, because they're not able to pay an advancement on the front end. If you actually make some sales, they will pay you more percentage of that on the back end. Alright, so less money up front, more money in the future if your book sells. Now the consistent thing across all types of publishing is the expectation of authors to market their books, either as much as the publisher or sometimes even more. Gone are the days when the author would just write the book and the publisher would sell it. Now you need to be invested in your book and start promoting your materials and marketing your book on all sorts of different ways. So I'm planning on making a later video about different marketing strategies for the author in this day and age. So if you like this information, if you find these videos worth your time, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell so you can stay tuned to the future videos. That about wraps it up for traditional publishing. I'm planning on continuing to put out a video about once a week, so be sure to stay tuned for more information so that you can have a successful journey to publication.